Welcome to this short video on mobile plant safety awareness. My name is Chris Docherty. I work for FQM, a QHSE consultancy, training and software organisation. We provide lots of free advice and support, and we suggest you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and on our website you will also find free resources available to download. So, mobile plant safety. So if you are on a work site, people around this work site working on it or visiting the site can be at greater risk if that site has mobile plant that is in use, regardless of what its use is for. It's important that we understand the risks associated to mobile plant, and in particular if young people or new people join that site that are not familiar with the workings that go on around the site. There are a multitude of different risks associated with mobile plant. It's important that not only the people that are at risk on the site, but also the people that are using this equipment or involved in the direction associated to this equipment, they understand the risks associated and they understand the rules of the site. Of course, these rules must be set from an organisational level or a site management level, and it's important that protocol is in place for when people join the site and they follow the rules which are set. So it's important to think about other factors in terms of stopping jobs, raising awareness, safety behaviours of individuals. And we have a number of other free videos and training sessions that might give you some tips around that type of activity. Here we want to talk a little bit more about some of the requirements that should be in place associated to mobile plant and lifting gear on a site. It's important that we recognise the rules associated to the method statements or the operating instructions that we must follow, the risk assessments associated to that equipment and the activity that will be undertaken at that site. Remember, a generic risk assessment prepared in an office or used at a previous site is most likely not suitable for the tasks that you will be undertaking at this site you're working on. So a dynamic risk assessment is important, and even the smallest of additional items or hazards that are found could be sufficiently controlled to stop someone or something being hurt. We must remember about barriers. So barriers associated to the activities that we're working on, because we want to reduce the impact on others, other equipment, other assets and other people that are on the site. We have to have effective communication methods in how we communicate that this work is taking place, including the use of possibly banksmen. In many cases, sites will operate a permitting system, and that permitting system should provide the guidance and support to the individuals undertaking the work, but also provide some guidance to others around the work activity. Included with this may be other activities using other vehicles for other operations on the same site at the same time. We must also ensure that only appropriately trained and competent people are using the equipment. There should be no one using any of this equipment that could cause these problems, hazards and risks and impact and incidents to people or assets when they have not been deemed suitably trained and competent. Also, let's remember it's our responsibility to ensure that the equipment and the plant is fit for purpose. And this includes all the accessories that would go on and be used with that equipment. It is our responsibility to ensure that it is fit for purpose to use and appropriate inspections have been done. What about maintenance? Well, it's important that we recognise, and it's been recognised by many incidents throughout the years, that maintenance can play a significant part in the critical safety elements of mobile plant and equipment on a site. Maintenance comes often from a location out with the work site, something that has been done at a third-party location or maybe back at a service location. It's important that we understand that these maintenance programs are put in place and they are followed effectively. because you could be putting someone else at risk by cutting corners and making decisions to miss out maintenance activities just because of some financial or time-bound reason. So it's important from a leadership and a cultural point of view that these activities continue to happen. And we must remember there may be many safety critical features on a piece of equipment, and if these deteriorate or stop to function, you could be putting people at that work site at much greater risk of harm. Also, let's remember, we cannot just simply rely on the maintenance activity because it may be a 3-month or 6-month or 1-year activity. We must remember that various things happen to that plant and equipment during this time. They could move from one site to another and be used by a multitude of different people. And it may be that people are not notifying others or reporting problems that they find. So it's the responsibility of the person that is going to operate this plant and equipment that they take the accountability for doing the inspections before they use it in order to protect themselves and others around them. Do not rely on someone else that has informed you that they have done the inspection earlier that day or the inspection was completed yesterday. It's important to follow clear guidelines around protecting yourself and others on that work site. So take the few moments that's required and complete the inspections. Inspection sheets or other forms of electronic inspections may be available to you, and if not, it's time to ask the question where this can be found. It should become part of the work pack and it should be clear instructions associated to this. The inspection criteria that should be followed should be specific to that plant and equipment, and also may need to be specific to that site and the activities that you will be undertaking. Please remember, and reports are available to support this, reversing vehicles on work sites account for approximately 25% of incidents that occur on work sites. This may be because pedestrians are not barriered from the locations. It could be that multiple activities are happening at the same time. But it's clearly a problem, and it's clearly a problem that can be prevented if controlled correctly. It may be that the site require banksmen to undertake reversing activities. If that is the case, we must follow these instructions and ensure trained and competent people are supporting us to do this. We may have to request permits before we undertake these types of activities, and of course we must follow the relevant risk assessments. But more often than not, we must be aware of what's around us. We must observe what is going on and use common sense in the practices we take associated to reversing plant and equipment in a work site. Remember, stay alert and be seen is the message for people that are walking around a work site where there are other vehicles reversing. Let's think also about cranes and other lifting equipment. It's important that we understand the rules associated to lifting kit and the high hazards and risks associated to them. This could be forklifts, this could be cranes, this could be overhead cranes. So it's important we understand the type of kit that is being used and that we understand the activities that we're going to be doing. In many cases, again, we want to inspect the equipment before its use, relying on our own judgment and following guides that are provided to us in the workplace. It's also important that we think about the route that we will be taking for this crane or this forklift. Is the route clear? Is it correctly barriered off where appropriate? Are other operations that are going on being made aware of the activity that you're going to be carrying out? And it may be that permits are required in order for that to happen. You must also understand the safe working loads of the equipment that you're going to use and the load weight of what it is you're going to be lifting. There are rules around this, and often companies put in place lifting plans associated to this. A lifting plan can follow two ways. One can be generic, associated to a standard lift, which looks similar all of the time, and the other can be dynamic, much more related to a critical lift that will take place that's not a normal activity. In both cases, they should guide you through steps that you should follow in order for you to control the hazards and reduce the risks associated to the activity. Again, it's often that we need to use banksmen or slingers to support us in this, and there are a number of human errors that can occur associated to that. One of those key ones is around communication and who takes control, often the main operator. So please be aware of some of the rules on your site associated to lifting kit and some of the requirements that you need to follow. Remember, you may do this on a regular basis, but it's important that we think about the human factors here. We all from time to time make mistakes, whether that be us operating the kit or others around us walking into areas that are barriered off or controlled simply because they have other things on their mind or they are being distracted. The next time you're on a work site when there's mobile plant and lifting kit around you, think about what the rules are for that site. If you're not being made aware of them, stop what you're doing and look to be made aware. Raise awareness within the work site. Gain some confidence that you have a place that is controlled. You have a number of hazards on that site, but the controls are what keep you safe in the workplace. Thanks very much for listening to this short video. I'd like to remind you again to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on LinkedIn. Thank you.